Hello, today I would like to show you how to unpack three very simple packers. First will be PECompact, second ASPack, and third UPX. Packers are very simple to unpack. Much more complex are protectors. In packers there is no such thing as API redirection or stolen OEP. The packers are often used by malware creators. In commercial software, you will not meet them. Developers in commercial software are using protectors as VM Protect, Temida, Enigma. To unpack packers, the only things we have to do is to find OEP, make dump, and report and rebuild imports. That's all. I think it's a good thing to know how to unpack protectors for educational purposes. And if you want next unpack real protectors that are much more harder to unpack. So let's begin. First open PECompact let's execute for the beginning. We can see this is Unpack Me created by owner of Tools4U website. Here PECompact, here ASPack. And here UPX. So let's start. Open in OliDBG, PECompact. To find OEP, we have to take a look on first instruction. We can see here is move EAX and some address. So we have to press Ctrl G and type this address in the field in this window. Press enter. Now we will scroll down a little. And here is jump EAX. Press F2 to set a software breakpoint. Let's execute. And now this jump will go to OEP. Here it is, our original entry point. So let's make a dump. Dump debugged process. Let's uncheck rebuild imports. We will use Impreg and Stilla to repair later the imports. And press dump. PECompact dump, press save. Now let's open import reconstructor. Let's load the existing process, PECompact. Now we have to type in this window RVA the start of import address table. We can see one API here, so let's see this in dump window, and we can see all imports. So let's scroll up to the beginning. We can see the begin of our import address table start here. So let's press Ctrl X to copy this address. No, wait. Here is the beginning of import address table. So let's here copy this address, press Ctrl X. Let's go to impreg. Paste it here. But now we have to change the paste address from VA to RVA, because image base is 400,000. So to calculate RVA, we have to subtract virtual address minus image base. So we have to only remove this 4 on the beginning. Press delete. Size, we can type a high value. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be here precise. 5,000 is enough to view all imports. So let's get imports. And we can see we have type here 5,000, so we have in the end no imports. The only thing we have to do is to delete unexisting imports. We can see this is not valid, and there is only a junk, rubbish. Let's press right click, delete tanks. Here also rubbish, deleted. Now press show invalid. There found something also here. This is the problem of import reconstruction, because it read this API address as it is from NTDLL, but this is from user 32. As we see, very similar imports up and down. So we can be sure that this is dev Windows proc A from user 32. So we have to change this API address. So let's right click. No, first we have to double click on it. Choose here from here user 32. And type dev Windows proc A. Now this is correct. So now let's show invalid. Same thing as above. So do exactly the same. Let's choose this API. Show invalid. Everything looks fine. Okay now. So in the option I have unchecked fix EP to OEP because when I use in OliDBG plugin OliDump to dump this process, this plugin already changed the entry point address in the dumped exe. So now let's fix dump. PECompact dump. Press open. Okay, it says everything is okay. Here's our dump, and below is file with repaired import table with the underscore in the end. So let's launch it, and we can see our target is unpacked. So our next target will be ASPack. Let's open in Oli. To find OEP, we have to find two instructions. So let's right click. Search for all sequences. And let's type push 0. Press enter. And type ret. That means return. Those two, we will search for those two instructions. Press find. We find something. We found. Press on it. We can see those two instructions, push and return. So let's set breakpoint on return instruction and execute our program. We can see the push is now changed into some address, and this address is our OEP. And as we know, push and return do exactly the same as jump. So we will jump to original entry point. Here we are. So now let's dump it. Plugin, only dump, debugged process, uncheck rebuild imports, dump, ASPack dump. Okay. So now let's see the import address table, beginning of it. We can see it here. Let's copy the address. And now to make it different, we will repair imports in Scylla, not in Impreg. Let's open the process of ASPack. Let's paste the import address table, the address, and we can see it was it's almost the same, almost as in our previous target. In Scylla, we don't have to calculate the RVA address as we did in Imprex. We can left the virtual address as it is here. So now let's get imports. We can see in the end unresolved imports. This is a junk, so let's delete it. Let's select and press delete on keyboard. Now to be sure, show invalid, everything's fine. Even the instruction in user 32 is correctly resolved. There is not such a problem as we had in import reconstructor with those two APIs in user 32 DLL. So now let's press in Scylla I will show you options. Here I have also disable fixing OEP because only dump in only have already override the entry point address. So let's press fix dump. ASPack dump. Let's choose the file. And now it says everything successfully ended, is finished. So now let's execute. This is file with repair imports by Scylla. We recognize it by SCU name in the end of file. Let's execute it by double click, and we can see ASPack is unpacked. The last packer I would like to show you is UPX. So let's open in Oli. To find OEP in UPX, we have to execute the first instruction, push AD. This instruction push all register on stack, and the golden rule is when something is put on the stack, it have to be take off someday. So we have execute the first instruction, and now let's set a hardware breakpoint on the stack. Here is register ESP. This register always point to the top of the stack. So let's set hardware breakpoint. Let's run the software under debugger, and we can see the hardware breakpoint has occurred, and this jump in the end, this is jump to OEP. So let's select this instruction, this jump, and press F4 on the keyboard. One more time. Let's select and press F4 on keyboard. And now let's execute this instruction. Press F7 or F8 or one of those two buttons. Now let's analyze the code. Right click and analyze this. And this is our OEP. So let's make a dump. Uncheck rebuild imports, dump. Let's name it UPX dump. Let's find the beginning of import address table. We can see it here. Let's copy the address. Let's go to Scylla. Load the process UPX. Let's paste the import address table here. And press get imports. Let's delete the last hunk, not existing imports. Fix dump, press on this button. Choose UPX dump file. Import rebuild success, it says. Let's see and check if this is correctly made. Here it is. Let's run. And you can see the UPX is unpacked. I can also mention that packers are the main goal of packers is just make the size of the file as small as possible, and do not never use the packers to protect your commercial software. You saw now how easy it is to unpack them. So that's all what I wanted to show you. Have a good day, good unpacking, cracking, and see you next time.